Good day to everyone. I am Sir David Duse, and again we are back to another business finance episode. And today we're going to discuss about asset financing. Today we will continue discussing the revealed option for financing under the condition of using asset. Let's begin on those with the short-term arrangement of financing. We have lease financing and receivable financing. Lease financing for short-term asset is the act of lending dormant equipment owned by the company to generate funds. Basically, assets that are already in your hand should not be sleeping. Anytime and anywhere, they should ideally generate value. For instance, in a steel and concrete construction that is now undergoing in the stage of roofing, does not need some equipment and can rent it to other construction company. Same goes with the motion picture production that is in the post-production, wherein they are no longer shooting with actors but editing the film. Since all props and equipment are done being used, they can lend it to other filmmakers to make the most of the asset available. As a tip, it is ideal to have the rental fee higher than the depreciation rate. But if negotiation does not permit, a certain compromise on the lending price can be made. Another way to utilize asset on a short-term amount of time is to sell receivables. We call that receivable financing, and that is selling receivables at a value lower than its maturity date. For instance, say we are the orange person and someone owes us 10,000 pesos. That person makes a promissory note that we can cash in the next month. Since we do not want to wait, we are going to sell the promissory note at a lower price, say 5,000, to have cash immediately. That buyer of promissory note can be a financial institution, bank, or simply a person who is willing to wait to get the maturity value and of course gain profit. Another tip is sell receivables that are considered negotiable instrument so that you are legally supported. Because, well, you could enter on a gentleman's agreement, but that's not 100% foolproof. Alright? The next opportunity of financing is utilizing intellectual property. According to the Intellectual Property Office of the Philippines, intellectual property, IP, refers to creation of the mind. It can be an invention, patent, utility model, a design, a brand, or even a literary work or artistic work. To make an example, suppose we are to produce a capital by selling a patent to interested buyers. Arrangement can become long-term if it's staggered payment, such as on a monthly basis that lasts for 5 years, or it can be a short-term payment, as in lump sum, as in one big payment with fat numbers written on a big check that can be made, and that can happen. Another instance is selling fictional character. Say we have created a successful character from Agent of Swords, and the protagonist is Nick Happy. Through that character, we plan to create a side story, toys and merchandises, and films. And unfortunately, we need immediate cash or immediate funding so we can sell the rights for filmmaking. As such, in the case of Marvel selling some rights of Spider-Man to Sony and selling some rights of X-Men to Fox Entertainment Group. Tips in selling intellectual property is to get an attorney in your team when selling intellectual property so that you will avoid giving more than what is intended. That is why it is wise to invest in your research and development or R&D so that you may be able to utilize it when time comes. Our last discussion is about lease financing again, but in a capital leasing. By definition, it is simply about leasing your property. If you have a land and plan to construct a building on it after 5 to 10 years from now, then it's best to utilize the land at the moment by lending the prospect tenants. Such in the case of lending your studio as warehouse, or converting a land into a parking lot, or lending it to farm managers, and so much more. Just be sure to inform your tenants that you have future plans for the space. Not only it establishes deadline, but also builds rapport and of course a relationship to your tenants. That's it. So in this video, we learned the possibilities of creating funds using assets. In our next episode, we're going to discuss debt financing. I hope to see you there. Hasta luego!